Welcome to the show. We're a little bit late today, but I know that you guys will enjoy this one because it's going to be big. Microsoft settles a lawsuit. Tom Holland is excited for the new Spider-Man script, even though he says it needs a little bit of work. And also Namco Bandai is just locking people in rooms and hoping they quit. Let's get into it. So one of the most annoying things that people do, like in movie production or show production, I should say, is a mid-season break. Like either you bring that shit like to the forefront so we can watch the whole thing, or you like don't release it until it's finished. So Invincible 3 gets a release date with no mid-season break this time. Invincible 3 has a release date, but it may be revealed a bit sooner than Prime Video would have liked, thanks to the leak over the weekend. The new season drops on February 6, 2025. We learned this thanks to its since removed leaked trailer on Sunday, covered by Forbes, and then reposted today by the official Prime Video account on X/Twitter. The trailer features Mark and Cecil chatting at Burger Mart about what Mark has been up to following the events of Season 2, which doesn't sound like much. Prime Video/X posted the trailer has gotten a bit cheeky with the line, "Mark never gets a break," and some other references in the trailer, such as the reference to Mark taking a multi-month vacation. Then these remarks are self-effacing pokes at the mid-season break in Invincible Season 2 in initial airing in November 2023 and Part 2 in March of 2024. The most annoying thing that they did, I swear it was so annoying. I hate it. And it wasn't even like the problem with the mid-season break is I thought that there was going to be more episodes. It was like 12 episodes, I think, broken up in 2 seasons. Like, I can understand if it was 12 and 12. Like, you usually take a mid-season break like that, but 12 episodes? Like, bro, for reals? Are we like for reals here? Which is great news because Invincible Seasons 1 and 2 are pretty darn good. We gave Season 1 an 8 out of 10, IGN says, calling it great thanks to its unique action and strong character-centric gravitas. So again, just to kind of like wrap this up, mid-season breaks are stupid. I don't know why they do them still. I don't know why production companies are always trying their best to make mid-season breaks and make it seem like it's a good thing. It's not. It's annoying. Like, you lose most of us, and I'm glad that they're doing away with them. I'm glad that they listen to the fans. They're like, and I hope that this doesn't affect the episode count, because it's bad enough that the production is really high because they have such high stars in this show for no reason whatsoever. They have a high amount of stars in here that they could have just hired voice actors, and instead we get AAA actors and they have to pay more, and you can tell with the production that sometimes it takes a hit. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Are you looking forward to Invincible Season 3? And are you going to be watching it? And are you happy that there's no mid-season break? And remember, you're pretty good. So apparently Amazon has a leak problem because it wasn't Invincible, like being not having a mid-season break wasn't the only issue that happened with Amazon. A show that everybody's been looking forward to, which is Secret Level, has been leaked as well. A trailer leaked, and the Secret Level trailer leak reveals star Keanu Reeves, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kevin Hart, and more. Amazon Prime Video Secret Level stars many big name actors including Keanu Reeves, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Kevin Hart, and more. A leaked trailer has revealed. I mean, at this point, Kevin Hart is like in a soap opera. That motherfucker is in everything. As reported by MP First, a trailer for the upcoming anthology series appeared online ahead of its December 10th release. This was soon taken down through a takedown notice from Amazon, though not before the list of stars was extracted. Alongside with the affirmated talent, Secret Levels features Star Wars, Tamara Morrison, I can never pronounce that guy's name, he has such a hard name, Barbie's Ariana Greenbelt, Last of Us, Marilyn Dowdre, and The Boys, Claudia Domit, alongside Michael Beach, Clive Stadden. Man, these guys have like the weirdest fucking names. Anyways, it has a lot of cool voice actors and actors in it. I'll put the list up here because I'm not about to butcher these people's like what the hell is, I can't pronounce it. Adalawel Iko. Dude, no, I'm not doing that. Anyhow, Secret Levels is an animation anthology series with each episode adapting a story from different games. It's said to include a myriad of big hitters such as Armored Core, Dungeons & Dragons, Mega Man, The Outer Worlds 2, Pac-Man, God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Sifu, Spelunky, Unreal Tournament, Warhammer 40,000, and more. This is Warhammer 40k, but whatever. And yeah, like, I don't know how this happened. It doesn't say, IGN doesn't say how they got a hold of the leak and how this happened, but it happened, and I'm really looking forward to Secret Levels. Netflix, it's the same people who made the anthology series for Netflix, and I'm really, really excited for that because they did such a great job with no name like titles. Like, it was just like titles that they made up from scratch, and these are AAA games and AAA shows that they're going to be working on. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Does this make you more excited for Secret Levels? Do you not know about Secret Levels and just found out about it right now? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And remember, you're pretty good. So, like, if you ever notice that Teslas kinda look like the iRobot designs, yeah, like, you're not the only one. iRobot director accuses Elon Musk of stealing his designs first for Tesla products. The director of the Will Smith starring 2004 film, my God in heaven, that was in 2004? Jesus, time flies. iRobot has accused Elon Musk of stealing his film ideas for Tesla designs. Alex Porayas posted on X/Twitter a couple days after the Tesla revealed the Cybercab, a self-driving robot taxi, to point out what he claimed were similarities between it and the cars from the 2004 sci-fi film iRobot. Hey Elon, can I have my designs back please? Porayas said, with the images of Cybercab and the iRobot car side by side. The director of the Will Smith starring 2004 film iRobot. So yeah, so I don't think that he really meant this in a like serious way, because I don't think the iRobot designs were original in itself. I think they stole them or were inspired by somebody else's designs as well. So like I don't really think that he was being serious. I think it was like a little bit cheeky. He was being a cheeky fellow, and he was kind of just throwing a jab at Elon, because Elon did, like, the designs that Elon has, like with the robots and also with the Teslas and the Cybercab are stolen from a film. The film slips my mind right now, but like the designs are inspired from another film. But I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people stole designs from iRobot, because damn, that movie is iconic when it comes to like how sleek and design, like everything looks in there. Like even the cab that they have in that movie, you know, where the robots fly out and like they jump on Will Smith's car, like even that looks stylish and really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if they stole some designs from there. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think this is funny? Do you think Elon actually is stealing designs from iRobot? And let me know what you think. And remember, you're pretty good. So if you've been listening to this channel, you more than likely have heard that God of War was in the works in Amazon for a long time now. But unfortunately, it kind of took a hit, and we're basically finding out God of War TV series hitting the reset button after the departure of showrunner and producers. The God of War series previously announced for Prime Video is hitting the reset button, a report by Deadline. By the way, again, if Deadline is reporting this, it is 100% factually true. Deadline rarely gets anything wrong with its stories. So if you see Deadline reporting a story when it comes to like movies, shows, or any of the sort when it comes to Hollywood, yeah, that Deadline is usually spot on. Separately confirmed by IGN reveals that Sony Pictures and Amazon MGM are planning to hire new writer rooms following the departure of showrunner Rafi Jenkins and executive producer Hawk Osby and Mark Fergus, who are said to have written several scripts for the show's first season. According to the report, Sony and Amazon are apparently looking to take the series in a new creative direction, though it's unclear what the direction might be. So, from what I read from this article, PlayStation and Sony were really satisfied with the scripts and the way it was written, and it kind of makes me come to a couple of conclusions on why it could have been this show was rebooted and kind of hitting the reset button. The number one that I can think of at the top of my head, like right away, is budget. They wrote a script that just didn't match side by side with the budget of what they wrote in the script, and they're like, you guys said you were going to give me AAA money, and we wrote a AAA script, but now you're giving us AAA money. So like, they were satisfied with the script, and that's probably why, that's like the most likely reason why God of War is being delayed and reset. Not delayed, but reset and start from scratch. I hope it's not that, because God of War deserves at least $100 million budget, and at the very most a $200 million budget, because God of War, if you haven't played God of War and God of War Ragnarok, the new games that came out in 2018 and 2023, they are a high budget movie. So if you don't give it a high budget, I can understand why they restarted it. The second one is that the producers, directors, and all that couldn't come to a conclusion of, okay, this is a great script, but it's not exactly God of War, and it doesn't exactly live up to what we want. The Last of Us has a lot of changes, for an example, and the changes are all good, and the core of The Last of Us is still The Last of Us. Everything that is The Last of Us, even with the changes that they make in the movie, is still good. And I hope that that's not the reason, because if that is the reason, it more than likely was a clash between Cory Barlog, Sony, and the executives that were the producers and the directors and writers that were making the show. And this doesn't live up to, this is a great script, but it doesn't live up to what we want God of War to be. And to be honest with you, God of War doesn't really need that many changes. It's good already as is. So more than likely, that's my second most what might have happened behind the scenes with God of War. The third one might be is just it was scheduling conflicts, and they kind of weren't able to get the script as fast as they wanted or as clean as they wanted. That is the least likely one to me, because they were pretty much given all the time in the world. So I don't think it's that. It's probably the first two, and to be honest with you, it's probably the budget. Because a lot of streaming services, we're no longer in the golden age of streaming. Streaming is no longer cheap, and it's no longer giving high budgets to just anything like the way it used to. We see the Horizon show being canceled by Netflix, which, by the way, thank God, because Netflix is so hit or miss when it comes to their shows. I hope somebody else picks that up. And the reason why they canceled that is because if you look at Horizon is not going to be a cheap show to make. It is a very expensive. Every other shot in the show has some kind of giant robotic dinosaur in it, and it's kind of expensive. So if they were going to make that show, it more than likely had to be a $200 million show with a lot of high CGI, which was going to take not only a lot of money, but a lot of time and manpower to make. And they just didn't want to risk that with everybody. Now, Netflix, Apple, HBO, I'm not sure if Amazon said this, but they're all saying that they're not going to spend as much money as they used to when it came to kind of budgeting. And the inside thing is that they're trying to wait to 2025 to see what happens in order to see how streaming services are going to move forward with trying to see how much money they should spend, to see if people are going to the movies or if they're streaming more, because right now it's kind of up in the air. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think God of War is going to be made? What director do you want God of War to direct? I can't think of too many. And the other issue is, who's going to play Kratos? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Who do you think Kratos is going to be? And remember, you're pretty good. So Microsoft has been not doing so well this generation when it comes to Xbox. It had a plan that might have worked, but unfortunately they spent so much money that a corporation isn't going to spend they almost spent $80 billion, close to $90 billion getting all these studios, and they didn't really see the results that they wanted in Game Pass. And because of that, they are kind of looking on the wayside when it comes to Xbox, and looking at Game Pass and putting their games on other services. And that would be fine. That's already bad news. It's not fine. But there's more bad news, unfortunately, for Microsoft. Microsoft settles gamers' antitrust lawsuit over $69 billion Activision Blizzard acquisition. Microsoft has settled the antitrust lawsuit filed on behalf of a group of gamers who objected to the company's $69 billion acquisition of Activision. As reported by The Wrap, details of the settlement were disclosed, but we do not know the lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice, which means it cannot be filed again. Lawyers agreed that each party shall bear their own costs and fees. The lawsuit was filed back in 2022 in California by a group of gamers from across multiple states who expressed concern about potential negative impact of Microsoft's monopoly in the video game space sparked by absorbing the makers of Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, among many other games. It came soon after the Federal Trade Commission began its work to block the deal from closing, work that ultimately failed. The lawsuit had claimed Microsoft were to acquire Activision Blizzard. It would lead to the company prioritizing Xbox versions of multi-platform games, prices going up, or the cancellation of certain games. There was specific concern about potential impact on Game Pass subscriptions should the buyout go through. And you know what? All that happened. Every single thing that they just named right there, prices going up, cancellations of certain games, specific concerns of Game Pass prices going up, all of it happened. Every single one that they named happened on the dot. Like, not even funny of how accurate this lawsuit was, and this was filed in 2022. Since Microsoft successfully acquired Activision Blizzard in 2023, Game Pass has changed significantly. It slowly added Activision Blizzard games to the subscription service, with Black Ops 6 set to be the first mainline Call of Duty game to launch on Game Pass Day 1 later this month. But it's also restructured Game Pass itself. Day 1 releases are now a part of Game Pass's revisited basic tier. A big budget ticket games such as Diablo 4, Starfield, and Call of Duty are all reserved for more expensive Game Pass Ultimate or PC Game Pass subscription. Meanwhile, Microsoft has also raised the price of Game Pass, most recently in July when Xbox Pass Ultimate increased from $16.99 to $19.99 per month, which, by the way, is still kind of a steal, but still, prices went up. The price increase was described as inevitable by analysis speaking with IGN, with some predicting that Game Pass will eventually see the introduction of ads. The changes are said to be part of a push by Xbox to recoup some of its $69 billion investment in Activision Blizzard. In response, FTC called out Microsoft Game Pass price rising and labeled the new Xbox Game Pass standard tier as a degraded product. The FTC claimed Microsoft was exercising market power post-merger of Activision Blizzard with its controversial changes to Game Pass. Microsoft responded to FTC's filing about Xbox Game Pass increasing, calling a component misleading extra record account of the facts. It insisted the FTC was wrong to call Game Pass standard a degraded version because it includes multiplayer. Microsoft has also cut an eye-watering 2,550 staff from its gaming business since acquiring Activision Blizzard, with multiple studios failing by the wayside in February. The FTC claimed Microsoft contradicted its intentions during the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, when it laid off 1,900 employees from its gaming division in January. FTC lawyer Imad Abaid agreed that Microsoft said it wanted Activision to operate it as a limited integrated studio, but because Activision staff were among those affected by layoffs, Abaid claimed this contradicted Microsoft's prior claim. Microsoft responded to insist Activision Blizzard had already planned mass layoffs, regardless of whether the acquisition was complete. As time passes, Microsoft continues to increase its market power, prices have increased, games continue to be cancelled, development capacities continue to diminish, and Game Pass continues to trend towards a monopoly, attorney Joseph Savary said in the court filing. And they're right. Microsoft has done all those things. They said that they wouldn't cut jobs, and yes, they are saying that those jobs were going to be cut regardless if Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard or not. But one of the things that sneaky executives do is, while they're negotiating, because this negotiation has been going on since before 2023, 2022, and 2021. This merger has more than likely been in the works for the last 5 to 6 years. And one of the sneaky deals executives do is that they negotiate whether or not when they acquire Activision Blizzard, or when they acquire an entity to merge or to buy, that hey, you're going to cut those jobs, and we're going to say hey, they were going to cut those jobs regardless whether we bought them or not, and kind of be included by the deal on the underneath of what is going on. It happens all the time in business, and the FTC is right to call them out. They've laid off so many people when they said that they wouldn't. They've canceled so many games, closed so many studios that are prestigious studios that have made some of the best games. The Prey studio, which is Arcane, the people who make Prey, are no longer in existence anymore, and it's kind of sad. It's sad to see Microsoft do this to such a prestigious studios that they just got and kind of just threw by the wayside, and the CEO of Xbox just kind of saying it's just business, it's not fun, it's just business, and it's not nice. Yeah, it's not nice. I'm glad that they lost the lawsuit. I really hope that the lawsuit really hurt them pocket-wise, or it was some kind of agreement. We don't know what the agreement was. We don't know what was in the entire structure of the deal, but I really hope that it's something good for gamers, and I hope. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that Microsoft has been doing a good job with Activision Blizzard? Do you think that they deserve to lose this lawsuit? Let me know what you think, and remember, you're pretty good. Japan is a very interesting place. It's an interesting place because they don't fire people because they kind of can't fire people in Japan just by cutting jobs or for job cuts. They can't do that. So Japan has some kind of way of doing this, and I've heard about this since the 90s. This happened to the creator of Game Boy after he created the 3DO. I think it was the 3D device that gave people headaches, and the father of Game Boy, this happened to him before he died in a car crash. Bandai Namco reportedly sending staff to explosion rooms where they have nothing to do after canceling multiple games, including a mystery Nintendo project. Japanese game company Bandai Namco is reportedly sending staff to explosion rooms where they have nothing to do after a number of projects were canceled, including one said to be for Nintendo. Bloomberg reports that Bandai Namco, which publishes the multi-million selling Elden Ring, Tekken 8, and most recently, the 3 million selling Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, is cutting the workforce after canceling several games due to lackluster demand. The report also alleges Bandai Namco is sending workers to Adoishabaya, I cannot pronounce that, or exposure rooms, where they're given nothing to do. This, Bloomberg allege, is putting pressure on them to leave voluntarily. According to the site, Bandai Namco Studios Inc., the video game development division of Bandai Namco, has moved about 200 of its roughly 1,300 employees to exposure rooms, and nearly 100 have resigned, with more expected to leave in the coming months. Japan has a strict labor protection laws that make it harder to cut staff than in other countries, such as the US. Explosion rooms are therefore sometimes used by companies to drive staff to become so disheartened that they resign voluntarily, and thus aren't eligible for severance they would normally receive had they been made redundant. In a statement given to Bloomberg, Bandai Namco denied pressuring staff to leave voluntarily, but did confirm the cancellation of games in development, and revealed some employees are now waiting to work on their next project. Our decisions to discontinue games are based on comprehensive assessments of the situation, Bandai Namco said. Some companies may need to wait a certain amount of time before they are assigned to their next project, but we do move forward with assignments as new projects emerge. There is no organization like explosion rooms at Bandai Namco Studios designed to pressure people to leave voluntarily. Bloomberg reports that Bandai Namco has suffered financially in much the same way other video game companies have post-pandemic, with big losses coming from write-downs tied to game cancellations. It's alleged that Bandai Namco has recently stopped development on games that feature characters from Naruto and One Piece, as well as projects commissioned by Nintendo. The mysterious canceled Nintendo game was not named. Bandai Namco Studios has a number of years developed games for Nintendo, including exclusive Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Pokemon Tournament, and Pokemon Snap. In November 2023, Bandai Namco announced the team had set up to do contract development for Nintendo as Bandai Namco Studio 2 and Studio S, promising more to come. On the studio's new website, a statement read, Bandai Namco Studio 2 and Studio S has been developing a studio specialized in contracted development projects. We have cooperated in the development of many world-class titles such as Super Smash Bros., Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Mario Kart Tour. As a group of professionals who do not compromise on quality, we will continue to produce world-class titles in the future. We are looking forward to the participation of highly motivated creators. Look, the only thing I read in that is that it's complete BS. This is a Japanese company and this is what they're known to do. Since the labor laws are so hard over there, like they're so hard on companies, you can't just you can't just fire people just because you're not making enough money. That's the reason Nintendo, A, doesn't get rid of their talent, and B, doesn't get rid of their talent because talent's hard to come by. So they just keep them and just eat the loss. And because of that, other companies in Japan, so what they do is that they do put them in these rooms. This happens in the United States as well. If you have a contract where your contract is guaranteed, and if they fire you, you get the money, and on top of that, you also get benefits for a certain period of time. If you have one of those giant contracts, you more than likely are going to be put in one of those exposure rooms where you really don't do anything. Now, again, this happened to the father of the Game Boy device, where he kind of made a really bad device in the 3DO, and after that they kind of really didn't do much with him, and they kind of just left him there in the room until he died in a car crash, which I'm sure they were not happy about. But at the same time, this happens all the time, not only in Japan, more in Japan, but it also happens in the United States, depending on how big your contract is. I really hope that these game developers get new jobs and they get like the love that they deserve, because to be honest with you, if you haven't looked in how game developers are kind of worked to death, and that's kind of like the name of the job. If you want to be a game developer, you are going to be a workhorse, and you're going to be worked until you're tired till the game comes out. And they deserve all the love in the world for giving us the entertainment that we get. But at the same time, this happens way too often, and I hope that they find new jobs. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think Bandai Namco is doing this? And what did you think of the video overall? And thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I know that I'm really late. I've been really late. I got my teeth cleaned. I had clean teeth, boy. And also I did my hair. And the day before, my back was hurting. I did stream, so if you guys want to check out my streams, make sure you tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for streaming. We will be streaming Neva. I might do some on the weekend because Neva's such a good game and I want to finish it and I want to see where it goes and I want to get my heart broken. We will have a spooky stream next week. We'll be playing Dead Space, a game that I'm not looking forward to because it's scary as hell. And after Dead Space, we will be playing Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. So stay tuned for that. And let me know if there's a game that you do want me to stream. Not scary, for God's sakes. And yeah, remember, you're pretty good.